That is, to me, that is groundbreaking, right? It means that they know they have an issue. They know that what they're doing right now is not fucking working. And they're ready to make a move. Blade stuff is going to sell. X-Men stuff is going to sell. Spider-Man is going to sell. Like, it's great that you can do all of these obscure characters and stuff like that, but nobody gives a shit, man. Nobody cares about Mrs. Marvel. I'm sorry, I wanted Mrs. Marvel to be successful, but when you make something where you're just all about identity politics and all of this stuff, it's just not going to work because that audience is so small. What you need to do, if I'm Bob Chapek and I'm Kevin Feige, I'm bringing in all of the people that we claim to dislike, and I'm going to them. I'm saying, listen, but we need to know, we need to get on the same page with our audience. Find the compromise. There, under no circumstance should Disney be making content throwing up middle fingers to their audience. Let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. Is anybody out there buying their daughter She-Hulk merchandise? Has anybody seen that? Anybody walking around here seeing little girls walking around with She-Hulk shirts and She-Hulk mat? No! And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Atreus. I'm coming at you live from the ATL, bring you more gaming, entertainment, news, commentary, and analysis. All right. We got to talk about Marvel Disney, and a lot of implications going on behind the scenes. Rumors are swirling. Let's get into it after the drop.
What makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine? Even if you call me up.
All right, team, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit the like button, the red subscribe button if you are enjoying the content. All right, go into the description. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Let me know that you are a sub so I can follow you back. Let's get into the news. Now, we have this crazy article. Now, before I even start, this is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. This rumor actually comes from fellow YouTuber Doomcock, or his channel is called Overlord DVD. But, you know, the Doomcock guy, you know, it's funny. I never heard of this guy before. And then when I started making content, he comes on my radar, and all of a sudden I'm starting to see more stuff featuring him. It's crazy, right? But he actually dropped this rumor. I'll leave a clip to his video in the description. Marvel Studios rumored to reshape the X-Men for this new era. Want Halle Berry to reprise role as Storm. Now, that headline sounds like one thing, but which is why we have to read, and that's what I'm here for. I know a lot of you guys don't want to really read because you got better stuff to be doing, and so I can read it for you. Now, so let's go ahead and get it started. A new rumor claims that Marvel Studios plans to put the focus on the X-Men, but it might not be the X-Men most of us know and love. Rather, the rumor claims Marvel Studios plans to reshape the franchise for a new era. Now, we don't necessarily know if that means, you know, diversity and inclusion, or if they just want to use like a different roster for the X-Men. You know, they might not use somebody like Cyclops or some shit. I don't know. So anyway, Overlord DVD details the rumor. According to my sources, Marvel's delay of Blade was necessary due to the now public issues heading for the production. However, the delay was also an opportunity to delay other opportunities that needed more time due to contractual issues and without having to provide any other reason beyond a reshuffling. All right. I received this several days ago, and this is what I was told. I am told that Disney partners in the merchandising have all been given notice that X-Men is the next big thing for the MCU. Teams of researchers, focus groups, and etc. are all determining how the X-Men should be reshaped for this new era. Overlord DVD then provides some examples. Does Wolverine smoke? Does Gambit? How do the other character vices or orientations come into play with audiences? So what that sounds like to me is they're trying to be careful in how they do this thing because and how they present them, you know, as far as their backgrounds, their orientations, or whatever the case may be, because I think Disney is starting to recognize that they've been fucking up, and you'll see that going throughout this article. And they really want to get this right. They really want to get Blade right. They really want to get, you know, Secret Wars right. I think the good news here is I think that that Disney and Kevin Feige really care about what they're putting out. So, and that's why stuff is getting delayed. And I'm like, hey, you know, if you got to delay it to make a better product, you know, do your thing. Let's go ahead and continue. A little later in the video, he continues the scoop he received from WDW Pro. Marvel knows that audience participation is down. That's the key stat to know about. It doesn't matter if they have equal or higher revenues during a time of heavy inflation. It matters if people are going to Marvel movies and if they're buying Marvel merchandise. The answer to both of those, according to multiple sources, is that they are diminishing. That's not even to touch on the situation with Disney Plus MCU live action problems, which, you know, She-Hulk, garbage. So Feige finds himself in a new place. The X-Men will not simply be put out into the market under the direction of himself and his directors and his writers. They are getting focus grouped, he continues. This is an all hands on deck situation to repopularize the MCU. There you go. Bob Chapek is trying to save his job. I mean, with all the negativity going around, I mean, like when Bob Iger was there, I mean, stop hiring Bobs, I guess. I don't know. Bob Iger was there and everything was running like a well-oiled machine. And then Bob Iger, I think he retired or something like that. And then Bob Chapek comes in and it just seems like everything just went to shit. Now, I don't believe it's Bob Chapek's fault. I think a lot of this has to do with Kevin Feige and his whole more women in the MCU tirade and all that shit is just negatively affected the MCU. Disney and Bob Chapek do not want Marvel becoming Star Wars, a franchise that is theatrically dead and commercially no longer evergreen. Basically saying that right now Star Wars is in shambles. Nobody cares. Nobody's really talking about it. I mean, you know, we love The Mandalorian, but that's about it. After providing some brief commentary, he continued the scoop saying the delay in some of these films, especially Secret Wars, is convenient for Marvel and Disney because it buys them time on the research side, but also in acquiring the talent that they want. On the research side is very important. How do you interpret that, right? The research, how I interpret that when it comes to research is researching the audience and figuring out what they want, figuring out what works. I'm hoping that somebody up there is looking at the response to stuff like Thor: Love and Thunder. You know, I don't think the Eternals was that bad, but people don't like it, whatever the case may be. That, and especially something like She-Hulk, all right? But not only just She-Hulk, Loki, you know what I'm saying? You do a show about Loki, and then you introduce a female version of Loki and pretty much say, this show isn't about you. And it's like, come on, man. Like, anyway, I am told that they desired the Hugh Jackman announcement for D23, but were unable to finalize the details in time. There are other big actors, I'm told, that are related to X-Men that they don't have yet, and they want to acquire prior to the script. Specifically, I do not believe they have Halle Berry signed on yet to reprise Storm. And multiple sources tell me they're working on that at this time. They also want Famke Janssen because they want Dark Phoenix to be a plot device in the multiverse. I don't know how I necessarily feel about bringing Halle Berry back. I would much rather just have a new Storm. But, you know, if they want to bring her back and she's willing to do that, you know, Halle Berry's been a little bit on the, you know, psychotic side lately. So I don't know. I don't know how she is these days. But whatever. If they want to bring her back, you know, that's fine. I would much rather have a new Storm. But, I mean, you know, Halle Berry isn't necessarily, you know, prime like she used to be. So I don't know if it's as exciting as... Anyway. Misogyny. Finally, I'm told that they may already have Patrick Stewart signed on for multiple movies as Professor X, but they also want his likeness in the same way they have Mark Hamill and James Earl Jones' voice. You can imagine why they would want Stewart's version of Professor X for perpetuity. Next, he stated, remember what the lesson was from Solo for right or wrong. Oh, no. He said, next, he stated, remember what the lesson was from Solo for right or wrong? Audiences want to see the original actors playing the characters they're known for. That was the Kathleen Kennedy takeaway. But Marvel has hit a snag in acquiring everyone they need for the multiverse saga. Getting Hugh Jackman was a big deal. Getting Andrew Garfield, which I'm told is basically done, is a big deal. Getting this next wave of Marvel heroes to successfully launch is a decade to decade impact. And Phase 4 was essentially a failure at creating any momentum. Marvel has had to exact the requirement that some retailers take Phase 4 merchandise bundled with Avengers merch because otherwise the retailers won't sell the C-tier character towels, mugs, action figures, etc. So what a lot of the casual people don't see, most people don't see, not just casuals, is that the box office numbers is one thing, but the more important thing is the selling of merchandise. It's not enough for people to watch The Mandalorian. People need to go out and buy Grogu shirts and Mando shirts, or mugs, or whatever the case may be, phone cases. What they need to buy that stuff, because that's where most of the money comes from. You create something good that people love. People go out and buy shit. Like take Iron Man for example. Iron Man was like a C-list, B-list character. I mean, like the overall public wasn't like big on Iron Man before the movie came out. Then the movie came out and the whole Avengers thing, and all of a sudden you can't go nowhere without seeing Iron Man. Like everybody has an Iron Man shirt. Everybody has an Iron Man hat, towel, something, whatever the case may be. Kids have entire rooms shaped around Iron Man. Same thing with Black Panther. I don't give a fuck what black people say. When none of y'all niggas walking around with no Black Panther stuff until after the Black Panther movie. That's just what it was. My little nephew right now has a Black Panther car seat. I mean, the like Black Panther, T'Challa or no T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman or no Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther stuff will sell for forever now. There will be more Black Panther movies. They'll have to recast him because he just generates too much money. Like people, Black Panther and Iron Man. I don't know if Black Panther is exactly on the tier of Iron Man. Iron Man might be higher, but Black Panther is definitely above Hulk. I mean, not Hulk. I'm sorry, no, Hulk is up there. Black Panther is definitely above Thor. People love Thor, but people love Black Panther. But anyway, so you gotta sell. Some of these delays are not reshuffling, but instead an opportunity to get contracts finalized for big names to bring back original actors where needed. It's at least nice to know that they have a problem behind closed doors. The Victoria Alonso strategies just haven't materialized in success. They can't get rid of She-Hulk, Mrs. Marvel, and Moon Knight merchandise. They're ready to transition to actual moneymakers, and they're desperate to get it right. That is, to me, that is groundbreaking, right? It means that they know they have an issue. They know that what they're doing right now is not fucking working. And they're ready to make a move. Blade stuff is going to sell. X-Men stuff is going to sell. Spider-Man is going to sell. I mean, rumor has it they're trying to bring Robert Downey Jr. back and Chris Evans back because Captain America and Iron Man sells. Like, it's great that you can do all of these obscure characters and stuff like that, but nobody gives a shit, man. Nobody cares about Mrs. Marvel. I'm sorry, I wanted Mrs. Marvel to be successful, but when you make something where you're just all about identity politics and all of this stuff, it's just not going to work because that audience is so small. The core audience don't give a damn, man. Let's see. Make sure we're not missing anything here. Oh, they're talking about okay. I think that's so that's the part of the article that we wanted to cover. So the obvious question here is, how do you get the MCU back on track? And I like that they're using focus groups. I just hope that these focus groups have the right people on it. You get what I'm saying? What you need to do, if I'm Bob Chapek and I'm Kevin Feige, I'm bringing in all of the people that we claim to dislike, and I'm going to them. I'm saying, listen, you've caused us a lot of headache. You've made us look bad. Whether you made videos about us or tweets about us or wrote articles about us, but we need to know. We need to get on the same page with our audience. I'm not telling you to do everything the audience wants you to do because that'll get you fired. But you have to be on the same page with your audience and figure out what it is they want and find the compromise, right? That's the big thing. Find the compromise. There, under no circumstances should Disney be making content throwing up middle fingers to their audience. Where does that shit work? Of course, nobody's gonna buy any She-Hulk content. Let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. Is anybody out there buying their daughter She-Hulk? She-Hulk. Wow, bro. Is anybody out there buying their daughter She-Hulk merchandise? Has anybody seen that? Anybody walking around here seeing little girls walking around with She-Hulk shirts and She-Hulk mat? No! Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about She-Hulk. She-Hulk would have been best as a supporting character to the Hulk. I'm sorry, you can say whatever you want to say. But a whole TV show based on her, nobody cared. You know, you got the Twitter mob who, you know, all those bot accounts. But other than that, the show was bad. The message was bad. You threw up middle fingers to your audience, and it's what it was. I would say stop giving us these ridiculous cannon fodder shows. Nobody cares about Echo. We love Agatha Harkness in WandaVision, but we don't want a whole show based around her. Nobody cares about that. So I think you got to get back refocused. And, you know, as far as recasting some of those older, you know, I don't know what to say about that. I love Patrick Stewart, but I'm not sure I'm on board with Halle Berry coming back. I was looking forward to a new Wolverine, but I can't be mad at Hugh Jackman coming back, right? So, and then as far as the Dark Phoenix goes, Famke Janssen, you know, I don't know where these people are at these days. You know, I don't know what were their most recent projects or anything like that. So I don't really have anything negative to say. But I understand that they want to, because it's generating revenue, people. But I just want to say, if your goal is to generate revenue, stop pandering to these weirdos on Twitter. Please, Kevin. We don't want to see the MCU fail. I know, contrary to popular belief, what do they call this? Rage tube? Contrary to popular belief, you think that we want to see the MCU fail. We don't. We want to see it flourish. The problem is you're trying to subjugate this audience that, quite frankly, don't spend money. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Hopefully this is good news that Kevin Feige and Bob Chapek will get the MCU back on track to where it's supposed to be. But if not, you know, well, we tried. Let's go ahead. Talk to you guys later.
Let's go. Hey. Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby.